Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. In this hour, we reserve for artists, authors, people who do creative things, and also for people who turn their art into a business. And on this show, we celebrate what's good about Fresno, and we celebrate what's good about the Valley. And when we find somebody who's doing something different, we want you to know about it so you could celebrate with us. Our next guest is Rosalba.
Yes.
Am I close?
Yes.
And you make this thing called thou butter.
Yes.
It's butter I might put on my face, my whole body, you think?
Yeah, so it's a natural moisturizer that I make myself.
Oh, you make it?
Yes, I do.
And you find all the ingredients.
I do.
And you combine them somehow through a magical method. Now, you learned this.
Yes, I did learn how to make the body butter. Initially, I learned how to make it in Mexico. In Mexico, it's called a pomada.
Pomada.
Pomada. So, like, usually has like plants that are used, like medicinal plants that are infused in the mixture.
Now, where in Mexico did you learn this?
Yeah, so
It's a big country.
Yeah, it is a big country. So I was in the central, kind of central part of Mexico, in one of the smaller states called Morelos, and I learned this practice through curandera, or a healer. Her name is Estela Roman, and I was there on a trip with Fresno State in a summer abroad program.
Oh, you did that,
Yeah.
summer abroad. And did you speak Spanish before you went?
Yes. So
Okay.
I grew up here in the Central Valley. My parents are both from Oaxaca, and Spanish was my first language.
So you learned this through maybe a generational person who's passed it down from generation to generation, and you were able to learn it from them.
Yeah, so yes, I would say so. She had lots of modalities of practice in terms of her own healing, and this is just one of the many ways and what I gravitated towards. She did sweat lodges, and but for some reason I even wrote an article about this because it was such a profound experience for me. And
Thou butter.
Yes, thou butter, and thou means rain, rain in Mixteco, which is Mixteco's indigenous language, is one of 16 indigenous languages in the state of Oaxaca.
Wait, one state has 16 different languages?
Yes, indigenous languages. So these are languages that are spoken pre-Columbian times, and they're still spoken both in Mexico and also in here in the United States.
Well, I did not know that. So now, so you're learning to make this butter in Mexico, and what were they putting it into it at that time?
Yeah, so at that time, the method of making it was a little different. We used romero, or rosemary, which is a plant that kind of recalls in friendship, and also it's a plant that people kind of connect to because it brings kind of this sense of memories. And it's good for it's antimicrobial. So that was something that we infused in at that time for that pomada.
Okay. And so rosemary, what else?
I believe it was also chamomile. And
So these are plants.
These are plants that we infuse in the oils, and also so it was olive oil. I think it was cacao butter.
Now you are making your own. This is kind of your own design, your own ingredients that you've thought up and tried and experimented and feel work really well.
Yeah, so I'm not the sole creator, the only person who makes body butter or shea butter. It's a mixture. I think part of the logo for Thou Butter is the image of indigenous woman, and then also that of a black woman in Ghana, and kind of paying really homage to those cultures, right? And centering Black indigenous people of color, and knowing that these plants, have a home, right? These trees, the shea butter tree grows in Africa. The cacao butter, most people associate chocolate and cacao. Does not come from, Europe. It actually comes from Mexico. And so paying homage to those cultures and really honoring what our ancestors shared with us. And here I am, putting those two together.
See if we can see this a little bit down here, because it's beautiful. Rose supplied by your husband. How nice of him. That's so thoughtful. And by the way, what is this? You said you grow this.
Yeah, so this is yarrow. Yarrow is a native plant here on Yokuts land, here in the Central Valley. and it's actually a very, most people might see it and might think it's a weed, but
Mm-hmm.
actually it supports with fevers. Indigenous folks here in the valley would use it for fevers because it does promote a lot of sweating, but it also for skin purposes, it for people who have varicose, it's a type of vein.
Varicose veins. Yeah.
Yes, it's really helpful for
This
that.
looks like a marigold to me.
Yeah, so marigold or cempasúchil, it's a flower that's grown in Mexico and now throughout the world, but it's a plant that kind of pays homage to our ancestors, used for the Day of the Dead. So that's a plant that I have been growing, and then these particularly flowers, I think I purchased from a local farmer here in Fresno, and he's from Oaxaca as well. So, and I infuse these flowers to make lip balms, and
I mean, how do you get them into that form? You have to grind them or use some sort of...
yeah. So usually, I want to show everyone because just to see the beauty of these plants. So one, these plants here, we have seeds. So what I do is that I kind of break down the plant into smaller pieces, and then I infuse it with an oil of choice. So usually for me, it's almond oil, and I kind of let time do its thing and heal, and then
Again, almonds are from here.
Yes, the almonds are from here. And yeah, they infuse for a few weeks, and then after a few weeks, then I let that process. Then I infuse that with shea butter and cocoa butter.
Okay. Oops, I've already lost it. It's all right. So can I open this?
Yes, you can.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Thank
this
you.
kind of lemongrass.
Yeah, so it's lemongrass and orange. So I call it. It has a name called, I call it Shine because it has this refreshing aroma, and yet at the same time it has these sweet tones of orange, which is kind of like, it grounds us, but also gives us that like little burst of energy that sometimes we need, on those days that are, hot, or you just feel kind of worn down by the heat or whatever it might be, right?
Well, I tell you, men are famous for not taking care of their skin.
That is very
So I
true.
get a little dry patch on my elbow or something. I go buy some lotion in the store, and I look at it's incredible what's in there, all kinds of chemicals and things.
Yeah.
But yours is just all natural things that grow around here.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things do grow here, and some of the other ingredients are all plant-based, but also we also use, I use beeswax. So it's not vegan, but it is
Is this going to smell different?
Yeah, so that one's called the heart opener, hence the rose that I brought here with me today.
That's a very good scent. And it's rose.
Yeah, it's
no,
rose.
No mistaking. And each one has an actual little rose in it. This one had a little orange in it.
Yeah, and I think really the intention is, and I've been thinking about, is not only like a natural skincare line, but it's also like there's a lot of energy, and like I would say like my skincare line is also like there's a lot of spirit in it. Because it's really important for us to sort of like, one, know what we are putting in our bodies, but also for particularly for Black, Indigenous people of color. My parents were farm workers. There's so much hard work that we do physically, and yet like there is not a lot of time that we have carved out for ourselves to just sort of take care and sort of check in with our body. So this is, for me, this is an invitation, as when people pick it up or just smell it, it's kind of almost like a moment to sort of just be with this plant, right? Even in this other form.
Now, let's put that where people can find this. I have a million questions. I could ask you a million questions, but it'd kind of be nice to let our viewers know that they can actually get this by going to. I think I found you on Instagram.
Yes.
Thou Butter, and I saw that. Just the name is intriguing. That made me look, because I look for interesting people who are doing something different. I thought just the name caught me.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
But you could go to your Etsy shop.
Yes, so it's open 24/7, so you can shop there. There are periods we close, and that part of it is because we're also trying to practice of pausing, right? And that's really important. So there might be points, but for the most part, it's open all year long. You can also find me on Instagram. And also a pop-up. So I'll be sharing a few events that I'll be at.
Do you have any scheduled pop-ups yet at this moment?
So I have one on the next Friday, and I'll be at the Venice Courtyard with other creators.
It's right up the street. I could walk there.
Yes, you can. So that's going to be in the evening.
I drive by there, and they'll have these great events in the evening. So that
Yes.
you'll be there for that.
So I'll be there for that, as well as the Woman X to Woman X event. That is with Dulce up front, and also Royal Jelly are organizing the event, and that really event is really to center women, right? And so I'm excited for that as well. That'll be happening in June, and these dates are also on my Instagram page, so you can sort of follow up on the actual dates and locations for those events. And then one last one would be I'll be offering a workshop for farmers, particularly small-scale farmers. Who do so much for growing food, and also so this is an invitation for them to learn how to make the body butter, and also just take a moment to talk about mental health.
Nice. By the way, what's your email, your website, Black Zawa?
Yeah, so my email, the website is blacksocolo.com, and you can find a little bit about what we do without butter, and there's also other educational opportunities there. There's videos where you can learn about how to grow your own food in your garden, and yeah, we haven't updated as much, but there is information there you can sort of take a peek at, and sort of the general. Without butter is kind of part of a larger work here in the Valley of sustainable agriculture.
Nice. Now, I was going to ask you, what does the website name mean? Black?
Yeah, so Black Zocalo is Zocalo is a place in Oaxaca, Mexico, in the city. If you have the privilege to go, it's a gathering place. There's commerce, so there's people selling food, there's people selling art. And also in Oaxaca, we're really well known. My family's from Oaxaca. We're really well known for organizing, and so you'll see protests around teachers fighting for better wages, for better working conditions. You might see protests against the government for different reasons. And so we really thought of Zocalo as being a gathering place, a place for organizing, a place of creation, a place of commerce, and also a place for community. So that's usually where my family and I would kind of hang out there. And Black, we really wanted to center Black folks in this work. My husband identifies as a Black man. So it's a partnership between my husband and I, and that's really, we know in here in the Central Valley can be a bit conservative at points, so we really wanted to center Black Indigenous people of color in the work that we do.
Very cool. We're way past time, but I want to keep talking to you. You're fascinating. Everything you say is fascinating. Who needs this?
Who needs this? That's a good question. I would say anybody who has skin can use this.
Like people looking for some peace in their life.
Yes. Definitely. So yeah, most of the people who tend to buy are folks who are looking to find a moment for themselves, to be giving and loving to themselves, because the world doesn't really has not created that space for us. So it's really up to us to carve out that space to not do self-care, but to really do self-preservation.
I've got the ingredients: beeswax, almond oil, organic coconut oil, cacao butter, shea butter, and essential oils. You know what I got my mother for Mother's Day? She's 85. Coffee mug with my picture on it.
Oh wow!
Wouldn't this have been great, you guys?
It's not too late.
Yeah. It's not. Think about this. Anytime you have to get a gift, go to the Instagram, go to the Etsy shop, order 10 of them. I always have to go to parties at people's houses, and I always want to take something.
Yeah.
A little gift.
Yeah.
Unique gift. So there's ideas. What else do you want our viewers to know?
I think that to me this is not just about selling a product. To me, this is really about how I want to transform, how plants and bees have the power to transform this world. And it's really about, but it starts with us first, right? Just taking that time to really care for ourselves, and the inner work and the healing needs to happen in order for us to also do that in the community.
Very good. You're watching Central Valley Talk. Our guest is Rosalba?
Yeah, Rosalba.
Rosalba Lopez Ramirez. She's an artisan creator of Thou butter. And just look her up. She's everywhere. I typed in DAU and I started typing BUT. By the time I'm almost not even done, all these things popped up with your business. So Instagram, Etsy shop, a web page, and etc. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks so much, Mike.
We'll be back with more Central Valley Talk right after this.